So the podcast idea, got that, that's done. But how am I going to record the conversations? How am I going to distribute it to the world? How are people going to listen to my podcast? What I wanted to share with you guys next was, well, how am I actually going to record these conversations I'm going to be having? How am I going to distribute the podcast episodes, etc.? Now, this may sound like one of the hardest parts, but it's actually one of the easiest. And that's simply down to a brilliant piece of software called Anchor. If you haven't heard about it, give it a Google because it's brilliant. So let me explain how I'm going to be using it to create my podcast, basically. So I'm going to be having conversations with guests. So how do I invite these people to use this app, or how do I get a conversation recorded? So it's really easy. So firstly, no one's going to have to sign up for this app, so it's not sort of lengthy on the other person's end, but I'll go into the app and it will go, you basically click on a function which says invite friends, so you can invite people who are already on the actual app, or you can invite your contacts. So when you invite someone from your contacts, it will generate sort of a link which you'll be able to send through WhatsApp, Messenger, whatever. When they get that link, they'll basically then be told, right, you have to download the app. They'll do that, takes 2 seconds, but they won't have to sign up. And then before they get even into the conversation, it will say, basically, you're about to enter a conversation on Anchor, which is going to be recorded. Is this okay? And then they click yes, and then they're in the conversation. Now, a really cool part to this is that when they get into the conversation, because you're actually having a conversation in the actual app itself, the sound quality is brilliant. So I actually haven't had to buy, or I'm not going to buy any sort of fancy microphone gear or anything like that. I'm literally going to be using my Apple headphones, and the sound quality, I've tried it, is class. It's perfect, and that's just because you're basically having a conversation. It's recorded, both of you through the app. So that's the first thing, and that's how the conversations will actually be recorded. So secondly, how am I going to distribute the actual episodes and the recordings? So again, this is really easy, all done in the app. So you can actually create the actual episode in the app itself. So you basically create segments. So I'll record the introduction, put that in the segment as the intro, and then you can use some sounds that they have to sort of transition it into the next part of the podcast, and then you add the sort of interview with the guest, and then that's basically the actual episode sort of built in the app, and then you basically publish that as a full episode, so it then becomes just one whole piece. And then to distribute it, you literally click one button which says publish everywhere, and with that button it's then distributed to 5 different platforms instantly. You'll get different links which you can share it with your different socials to get people linking it on the Apple Podcasts, or just listening through Anchor FM, etc. So honestly, using that Anchor software to start a podcast is super easy. It's what I'm going to be using, and it doesn't mean that you're going to have to buy a fancy piece of gear for microphone, all that sort of stuff. You're not going to worry about how you're going to get it onto the different platforms. It's all done through one centralized app, and that's called Anchor. So I will leave a link on this video for those of you that are lazy and don't want to Google it. So I'll put a link on there. You can click that, check it out, but that's what I'm going to be using for my podcast and the creation of my podcast. So there we go.